Come to the window with me for a moment. Let's just stand here and watch the world outside. See the simple things happening right in front of us. A mother pushes her child on a swing, sending him soaring toward the bright blue sky. A neighbor brings a warm meal to the house next door. An old man sits on his porch, a gentle smile on his face as he watches the clouds drift by. These are small moments, quiet and easy to miss. But what if God is in these moments? What if His hand is moving in the ordinary, everyday rhythm of our lives? Let us take just 15 minutes to look closer together. We often search for God in the grand and the spectacular. We look for Him in the thunderous storm. We look for Him in the breathtaking sunset. We expect a loud voice or a dramatic sign to show us He is near. We think His work must be big and obvious to be real. But our God is also a God of gentle whispers and quiet acts of kindness. He is the God who paints the morning sky with soft colors and who helps a tiny seed push through the hard ground. He works in ways we might not expect, in places we might not think to look. He is always present, always working, even when we do not see it at first. Imagine for a moment that God's work is like a gentle river. It flows steadily and quietly through our days. It is not always a rushing waterfall that demands our attention. Sometimes it is just a slow, peaceful current moving things along. It brings comfort to a friend who is sad. It gives strength to a person who feels weak. It puts a kind word on someone's lips at just the right time. This gentle river of God's presence is always flowing, always bringing life and hope. We only need to learn how to see it, to notice its quiet movement in the world around us. The Bible tells us to be still and know that He is God. The verse from Psalm 46:10 is an invitation. It is a call to pause our busy lives and our worried thoughts. It asks us to stop rushing and simply be present. In the stillness, we can begin to see more clearly. In the quiet, we can hear His voice more easily. Let's take that invitation seriously today. For the next few minutes, let us be still. Let's watch for the small signs of His love and the quiet evidence of His work. Let's see what we can discover when we simply take the time to look. Let us meet Sarah. She sits at her kitchen table, a cup of cold coffee in her hands. The morning sun streams through the window, but she does not feel its warmth. Her heart feels heavy, burdened by worries that have followed her for weeks. She has prayed for a solution to her family's financial struggles. She has asked God for a sign, for some reassurance that He hears her. But the only answer she has received is silence. Now let's turn to Mark. He is a young man, just starting his career. He works hard and tries to do the right thing. He goes to church on Sundays and reads his Bible when he can. He believes in God, but lately, his belief feels more like a habit than a living faith. He sees his friends succeeding, getting promotions, and moving forward in their lives. Meanwhile, he feels stuck. He applied for a new position at his company, one he felt was perfect for him. He prayed about it, believing God had opened a door. But the door slammed shut. He did not get the job. This disappointment planted a seed of doubt in Mark's heart. He starts to question God's plan. If God has a plan for his life, why does it feel like he is going nowhere? He sees others who do not share his faith, and they seem to be blessed with success. It does not make sense. He tries to push these thoughts away, telling himself to trust in God's timing. But the thoughts keep returning, stronger each time. He starts to wonder if he has done something wrong. Is God displeased with him? Is this a punishment for some hidden sin? The doubt grows and its roots dig deeper into his soul. It starts to poison his view of God, changing him from a loving father into a distant and demanding judge. He feels like he is failing a test he did not even know he was taking. The Bible tells us to trust God with all our heart and not to lean on our own understanding. Proverbs 3:5 is a beautiful verse, but it is so hard to live by. It takes great courage to let go of our own understanding and trust that God's plan is better, even when it looks like a failure to us. Mark is learning that faith is not the absence of doubt, but the choice to trust God, even when doubt is shouting in his ear. Let us go back to Sarah. The day has passed. Night has fallen. The worries of the day have not gone away. In fact, they feel bigger in the darkness. She has not prayed all day. What was the point? She felt like no one was listening anyway. But now, in the stillness of the night, a small, desperate need rises in her heart. She does not have the strength for a long, eloquent prayer. She does not have the words to explain all her fears and frustrations.
All she has is a sigh. Her lips move, but no sound comes out at first. Then she whispers just one word: help.
It is not a demand. It is not a question. It is a simple, humble plea. It is the prayer of someone who has come to the end of her own strength. This is the kind of prayer God always hears. It is the prayer that comes from a place of complete honesty. The Bible tells us, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." Psalm 34:18. God is not drawn to our strength but to our need. He moves toward the broken places in our lives. Sarah's simple, whispered prayer was a crack in her broken heart, and it was an opening for God's grace to begin its slow, quiet work. She lies down in bed, the word help still echoing in her mind. But something has shifted. By admitting her need, she has made space for God. She has offered her weakness to Him. And in that small act of surrender, a tiny seed of hope begins to sprout in the barren soil of her heart. Mark leaves work feeling discouraged again. Another day has gone by, and nothing has changed. He is tempted to turn on the radio and drown out his thoughts with loud music. He is tempted to do anything but sit with this uncomfortable feeling of being stuck. But then he remembers a sermon he heard a while ago. The pastor spoke about waiting on the Lord, not as a passive activity, but as an active practice. He decides to try it. Instead of turning on the radio, he drives in silence. He just drives. He notices the way the setting sun paints the clouds with orange and pink. He sees a flock of birds flying together, moving as one. He is simply being present in the moment without trying to escape it. He is practicing the art of waiting. This practice of waiting is not easy. His mind still wants to race. But he gently brings his attention back to the present moment. He is not waiting for a specific answer or a dramatic sign. He is simply waiting on God Himself. The Bible encourages this kind of active waiting. Wait for the Lord, be strong and take heart, and wait for the Lord. Psalm 27:14. Waiting is not a sign of weakness. It is an act of strength. As Mark pulls into his driveway, his situation has not changed, but he feels a quiet sense of calm. He has spent a few minutes just being with God in the silence, and that has made all the difference. The next morning, Sarah is at her kitchen table again. The same cup is there, but today it holds warm tea. Her heart still feels heavy, but the single word she prayed last night, help, lingers in the quiet air. Suddenly, a soft knock on her back door. It is her elderly neighbor, Mrs. Gable, at the doorstep. Sarah opens the door, surprised. Mrs. Gable is holding a small pot of bright yellow flowers.
"I saw your flowers were looking a bit sad," Mrs. Gable says, smiling and offering the pot. "I had an extra one of these, and I thought it might brighten up your porch. Yellow is such a cheerful color, don't you think?"
Sarah is touched by the simple, unexpected kindness. It feels like an answer to the gloom that has settled over her heart. "Thank you," Sarah says, her voice a little thick. "That is so thoughtful of you. It's beautiful."
She places the pot on her porch. The bright yellow flowers catch the morning sun, a tiny splash of color in her otherwise gray world. It is not a solution to her financial problems. But for Sarah, it feels like more. It feels like a whisper. It feels like a reminder that she has not been completely forgotten. A small sign, a quiet work, showing someone sees her. The Bible speaks of God's care in these small ways. In Matthew 10:29, Jesus says, "Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one of them will fall to the ground outside your Father's care." If God pays attention to a tiny sparrow, surely He sees a lonely woman with a heavy heart. Section 2. A crack of light. Sarah spends the rest of the day with a little more hope. Later that afternoon, she sits down to tackle the pile of bills on her table.
Help, she whispers again, not with desperation, but with a flicker of trust. She opens her eyes and starts to organize the papers, determined to face them one by one.
As she sorts through the stack, she finds a letter from her husband's old job, a place he left over a year ago. She almost throws it away, thinking it is just junk mail, but something makes her pause. She opens the envelope. Inside is a short, formal letter. It explains that there was an accounting error discovered in their final payroll audit. They had underpaid his last check. A new check was enclosed to correct the error. Sarah's hands tremble as she pulls out the check. It is not a huge amount of money, but it is enough. It is enough to cover the most urgent bill. It is enough to give them a little breathing room. It is enough to be a clear, undeniable answer. Tears well up in Sarah's eyes. But these are not tears of sadness or worry. They are tears of overwhelming gratitude. This was not luck. This was help. It was a quiet, hidden provision that was working its way to her even as she sat in the dark, feeling completely forgotten. It was a crack of light piercing through the heavy clouds of her doubt. The Bible says, "And my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of his glory in Christ Jesus." Philippians 4:19. His provision does not always appear instantly. It arrives at just the right moment, not always when we want it, but exactly when we need it. For Sarah, this small check was more than money. It was a powerful confirmation that God hears and God provides. Section 3. An unexpected conversation. Let's go back to Mark. He arrives at work the next day, feeling a bit calmer after his silent drive home. During his lunch break, he runs into a senior manager from a different department, a man named David, whom he has always respected. They end up sitting at the same table in the cafeteria, and David strikes up a conversation. Then David asks Mark about his career goals. Mark hesitates for a moment, but David has a kind and open face, so Mark decides to be honest. He shares his recent disappointment about the job he did not get.
"I understand that," David says thoughtfully. "That position you wanted, it has a very narrow focus. I've seen your work on a few cross-department projects. You have a much broader skill set than that job would have used. In my opinion, you wouldn't have been happy there for long. It would have limited your growth."
Mark is stunned. He had never considered this perspective. He was so focused on the closed door that he never thought about what might have been on the other side of it.
David continues, "There is a new project starting in my department next month. It is going to require someone who can see the big picture and work with different teams. I think you would be great for it. Would you be interested in talking more about it next week?" Ande.
Mark can barely speak. This is completely unexpected. It is not just a new opportunity. It is a better opportunity. It is a door he did not even know existed. The Bible says, "In their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps." Proverbs 16:9. Mark had a plan, but God was establishing his steps on a different, better path. Sarah sits at her kitchen table. The two checks, the $50 bill, laid out before her like treasures. A wave of understanding washes over her, so clear and strong it takes her breath away. This is not a series of happy accidents. This is not luck.
This is God. She says the name out loud. It was you.
It is a moment of pure sight, a moment when all the small scattered pieces suddenly form a clear and beautiful picture. The doubt and the fear that had clouded her vision for so long finally burn away in the light of this realization. The Bible is full of moments like this. After God provided a ram for the sacrifice, Abraham called that place, "The Lord will provide." Genesis 22:14. When we name God's work in our own lives, we are declaring that we see Him. For Sarah, her kitchen table has become a holy place. These are no longer just random events, they are markers of God's faithfulness. Mark walks out of his meeting with David feeling like he is floating on air. His heart fills with thankfulness, not just for the new job, but for the loving redirection he did not even know he needed. He closes his eyes for a moment, right there in the middle of his busy office, and offers a simple, silent prayer. Thank you for not giving me what I thought I wanted. Thank you for knowing what was better for me. This kind of gratitude changes our posture. He realizes that success is not about climbing a ladder, but about walking in step with the God who guides him. Back in her home, Sarah's gratitude cannot be contained. She decides to bake a batch of cookies. As she measures and mixes, her actions feel like a prayer. She is taking the blessing she received and turning it into a blessing for someone else. A heart that has been filled by God cannot help but overflow. When Mrs. Gable opens the door, her face lights up with a surprised smile. Sarah has not only seen God's work, but she has become a part of it. Section 5. Sharing the story. We must tell the story when we see God move. I will give thanks to you, Lord, with all my heart. I will tell of all your wonderful deeds. Sometimes the most profound worship is silence. It is sitting in God's presence and acknowledging who He is. Our 15 minutes of watching together are coming to a close, but the invitation is renewed. Come to the window again. Look out at your world. These are not coincidences. They are love notes from heaven. The more we look, the more we will see. Think of God's work as the gentle finger of a loving father, pointing things out to his child. Our part is simply to follow his pointing finger.
Today, let us look for one small sign of God's work. When you see it, name it. Whisper to yourself, that was God. Then, say a simple, heartfelt thank you.
The God who holds the stars in place is the same God who is working in the details of your day. The Bible gives us this final beautiful assurance. The Lord your God is with you. He will take great delight in you. In His love, He will no longer rebuke you, but will rejoice over you with singing. Let us live today as if we believe this is true. Let us watch for His hand, listen for His whispers, and rejoice when we see the gentle finger of God at work all around us.